Hey, my name's Jared Moon, and I'm part of a group of underground athletes you've probably never even heard of before. Most of us don't even have gym memberships. We don't have every piece of equipment known to man, nor do we have a ton of time to train. And we don't need it because we're achieving amazing things without it. We are Garage Gym Athletes, and these are our stories. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jared Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
What's up?
Yep. And then we also have Ryan Martin. What's up, Ryan?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going well. So let's get right into it, man. Intro from you, who you are, what you do, how you train.
Okay, sure. So I'm married to a beautiful wife, father of 4 awesome kids, ages 10, 8, 6, and 2. 2 boys, 2 girls. So they take up a lot of my time, attention these days. Help operate a family construction firm by day, basically. I'm a director of a ministry at our church across all of our campuses. I write online for a few different publications from time to time. So I've got a full calendar. It's a good calendar, but as you know, squeeze out other priorities from time to time. So that's kind of one of the reasons that I guess I landed in this garage gym world, which is still kind of a newer world to me. But I train about 4 or 5 times a week. I try to get it done in the morning. You know, this week I've had a better week of getting them done in the mornings, but a lot of times it ends up being just at night or when I can, depending upon if it's a weekday, weekend. I mean, I guess as far as programming goes, I switch it up, probably every 6 to 12 weeks or so. And frankly, that's one of the things I love about all of your resources is just the different tracks and being able to kind of course correct or change based on what your goals or what fits the moment. So I'll do, earlier this year, I was doing a lot of, I guess more conventional powerlifting type stuff. And then heading into the summer, I did your shred program, which was awesome. It helped me drop some weight and just kind of get in better shape for some trips and stuff. And then this summer was more of a, kind of a boring hypertrophy program type stuff. Just all the kids were at home. It was hard to get all the normal training in that I wanted to do. And then lately I've been doing your, last few weeks, I guess I've been on the 30 minute block.
Yeah. 3 block.
3 block stuff, which is nice. I'm kind of in, maintenance mode right now. So like we're moving this weekend. So it's just kind of a crazy season for us, moving houses and different things going on. There's boxes everywhere and just, you know how it is with a bunch of kids just trying to fit in the time. And, so the 30-minute thing works perfect for that. And I still takes everything in me to get all the way through one of those workouts. And, so I don't know, I'm not sure what I'll do next, but that's kind of, I guess, the background on, snapshot of me these days.
Awesome, man. And, so you're moving, are you factoring in the garage gym into your new location?
Yes, man. In fact, actually, I'm excited because this new place has a man shop in the back. It's like awesome. on an acre. And so, it's got a little garage in the back, a separate garage, which I'm going to move everything into a man shop or a she shed, I guess, depending upon if you're asking me or my wife.
You're both
but
claiming
it's got, yeah, we're both kind of trying to, stake our territory, but so I'm going to move everything out there. I'm excited about that. And we'll see. Maybe I'll add some stuff once we get everything settled in.
And for everyone listening, where are you located?
We are here in basically Argyle, Texas. So not just, I guess, north of DFW.
I already knew that. I already knew that. Joe didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
I can't pretend like I can't make any assumptions, and no one knows what I know, so I have to make sure everyone else knows. Awesome, man.
Totally.
So an Argyle acre with a man shed in the back, which means, how do they phrase it on the movie Step Brothers? Did we just become best friends?
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, I need you to come build one of your monstrosities there in the back.
Yeah.
Big jungle gym for me.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it. That'll be really cool. And for anyone listening who doesn't know, I also live in Argyle, Texas. So I think people know I'm at like Dallas. That's probably what I say most of the time. But Ryan and I are both actually from the same area. Did we go to the same high school, in fact?
Flower Mound High School is where I went. So,
yeah, same here.
I wasn't sure if you were there or Marcus. I know that had come up, but
I went to Flower Mound. I think I went with your brother, right? We were the same graduating class.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you all knew each other. So
wow, small world.
It is a small world. It's pretty crazy, but also pretty awesome. That's why I was looking forward to this episode. A lot of ninja stuff nobody knew about.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Right.
So you're kind of newer to the garage gym scene. What does the setup look like?
So I've got
what it will look like.
Or what will it look like after I come to your shed?
After you come get me decked out.
Mm-hmm.
So what it looks like right now currently is I've got a power rack, squat rack. I got online, I think on Amazon for maybe $300 or something. It wasn't top of the line, but it wasn't bottom of the line. It was kind of bottom middle, I suppose, but it's been fine. It's, for pull-ups and any of the heavy lifts that I do. I was just like, I'll just get this. And then if I need to upgrade at a later point, so be it. And so far it's worked fine. So I've got that. I've got a air rower, which it's kind of like I think it's built to compete with the Concept 2, but it's not. It was like a little bit cheaper. I got it at a place here in town locally in DFW. DFW Fitness Depot is what the place called. I don't know if you've heard of that, but they have I think it's a D Master, but it's a chain setup, and it's been really awesome. So I love the rower. I used to enjoy running a lot more, but I guess with age or time constraints or whatever else, the rower has just become clutch for me. So got that. I've got a rack of dumbbells that I got off Craigslist, like super cheap, like really, really cheap. It was like $40 maybe for a few 100 pounds of weights, and
That's
got
awesome.
the whole rack and stuff. I want to get some kettlebells and stuff, and but I kind of just told myself when I started outfitting things, I was like, I'm gonna get this, and then every few months I'll upgrade and just kind of iterate. And so I've got that stuff. I've got just like a speed rope. What else do I have? I haven't built a box yet or anything. So that's about it. I want to get to your question about the next place, I want to get a sandbag, like a good one of those ones with all the handles and stuff on it. I'm showing my ignorance here, but I know there's like me and my buddy, we went on a family trip recently up to a cabin in the mountains, and didn't have any equipment, but he brought his sandbag, and we did this like hellacious full body workout that was awesome. So I might get one of those here pretty soon.
Yeah, I have a brute force sandbag, and I'm a huge fan. I like the company. I like the bag. I'm going to be adding it into some more of the supplemental stuff we're doing this next 12-week cycle. So I think it's an awesome one. Now, what was the reason for starting a garage gym? I mean, I feel like I see a lot of, I don't want to call them, indicators for kids busy. Like I think I kind of get it, but I would love to know a little bit more about why you specifically wanted a garage gym.
Yeah, you're on to me with the time constraints. No, I mean, that was obviously a big part of it, but that came later. I mean, I think one of my best friends, the same one I mentioned that brought I guess it probably was a brute force now that you say that, his sandbag up on our trip. We both have done CrossFit on and off over the years. He's got a lot deeper into it and was in it for a long time. And they moved down to College Station, and he was at a place down there for a while. And I'm not sure how he wandered into it, but he basically evangelized me over a year or two period, because he he outfitted his little garage with the same kind of equipment. I think he has an Aerodyne, or I know he has an Aerodyne instead of a rower, but, and then he's got a few other little trinkets, but, it was the same kind of thing. And he was, you know, he talked it up a lot. And of course, you know, you could tell just, you know, physically he was in better shape, and he had a cool deal where like his neighbors would be at his place every morning, multiple times a week. And he just kind of had a cool little community that developed. And so that was appealing. And then around the same time that was coming on the radar, I'm a big fan of Brett McKay's work over there at Art of Manliness. And he, for anybody in your audience who doesn't know, like he put out a big article on, kind of just like had a lot of like the heavy hitters in the fitness realm, like, just a different menu of options on different ways you can go. And so I learned about Mark Ripeto's stuff there and starting strength. And he had, some good direction on, you know, recommendations on kind of like your world. And so I think I, just stumbled on the site, and it wasn't too long after that we connected. And so I was like, okay, I'd had the garage gym going for a while before that. So, I'm not sure the timeline of things, but all those things just sort of coincided and factored together. It was like, okay, I like this stuff. My wife goes to Globo Gym, and, you know, I've done that deal off and on over the years, but never really been able to make it stick. I had done, like I said, a few different CrossFit boxes. I'll do like a 3-month stint or a 6-month stint, but just would feel like I'm missing too many classes because I can't get there at 5:30 and I'm blowing money away, and just didn't really find the right fit for me. And so I think it's probably been about a year of finally curated my own gym and been able to keep the chain going and, you know, not really have any interrupted, you know, long breaks or anything like that. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's a big factor. I like you mentioned kind of at the beginning there, like your buddy having, you know, friends over on Saturday and stuff, and or, you know, whenever they can. I think that's a really big piece. I think, you know, now that I think about it, I normally do that wherever I live, and then once it gets hotter, people stop coming as much, and then they start coming back as the weather cools off. But I think that is a really cool part of just the garage gym athlete community as well, getting people involved around you. Now, it sounds like you've been through a lot of different phases of fitness. You mentioned a hypertrophy cycle that you're doing earlier this year. You've done shred. You've done some powerlifting stuff. You mentioned CrossFit. So what, you know, looking forward, what are some of your goals and what are you looking to do?
Man, that's a great question. You know, honestly, man, these days, and this is, I'm sure somebody out there can identify with this, but like my goal is just like keep the chain going and like just hit my workouts. Like I don't have a lot of, you know, early in the year, I guess I had some powerlifting, you know, conventional lift markers I wanted to hit, like, you know, get bench up to this point and get, you know, hit a certain level of squat and deadlift. But these days, man, I was just like, it's a win for me to get all of my workouts in on a given week. And, so like, I try not to, I mean, I know goals are important and a great thing, and I try to like just track how I'm doing, obviously, but, in general, it's like, for me, it's just, you know, I don't beat myself up if I didn't finish on the whole workout, or if I didn't hit numbers. Like I'm trying to just like, cause historically when I do that, I get into this narrative and I like, we'll just stop working out. Cause it's like, oh, you suck. You don't, you know, you're going downhill. You were further along than this 3 months ago. So at any rate, for the most part, I don't have anything on the horizon that's like, I want to hit this specific thing. I'm mainly just trying to do my best to like not miss workouts, just kind of like faithfully do the programming. Like if you put workouts out there on one of these tracks, like just try and do everything that's in there. I'm admittedly like, I'm not great at, you know, checking off every box and entering and all the data and stuff. I know that would help me sort of optimize things, but it's just, again, I just kind of know myself. And it's like, as soon as I start missing stuff and I don't, I kind of worry or over worry about metrics, then I kind of can backslide and stuff like that. So I do want to, I think once we get moved and settled, I'll probably identify some like, you know, more concrete numbers or something like that. But for the most part, man, it's just trying to get out there and do it and, you know, keep momentum going. So,
yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, going back, so I only set one goal for 2019 in the fitness and in the fitness world, and there was no it's no back squat number, it's no mile time, it's just I want to train 300 training sessions in 2019. And that's it. Because I know following the programming that we put out there, everything else is going to take care of itself. So I think that's what you're doing is awesome. You know, don't break the chain. You mentioned that. I think that's really important. It's just that's going to be more important than a double body weight deadlift or whatever, any other thing that you can chase, especially if we're just talking about health and longevity. I think that's really important.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And that's the main thing is just like growing older, you know, you want to be the kind of grandpa or whatever that's just can roughhouse with his grandkids and stuff. And it's, you know, at this point in time, you know, you worry less about, maybe less than you did in college seasons or in high school about hitting certain weights or whatever. It's kind of more so just how healthy am I and how disciplined am I being?
Yeah. We don't have to peacock anymore. Is that what it's called, Joe?
Peacocking. Yeah.
Totally.
Awesome. All right, man. So it sounds like you like it. I got most of the idea about what you were doing before. So I'm going to jump to what's the hardest workout you've ever done?
Oh man, I was thinking about that. So, I mean, there's probably, I mean, obviously like, I don't know, Murph's a hard one. I know you've done that like 1,000 times. That one's tough back in the CrossFit days. It's more so for me, like there were a handful of workouts that I can vividly remember, maybe on paper weren't as hard as other ones that I've done, but like at the time they just smoked me so bad. Like I can remember one CrossFit session we did, is it Grace? Is that the one with all the cleans and stuff?
I think it's like 30 clean and jerks for time or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe.
Yeah. For whatever reason, man, whatever it is, when I did that, I was like just 2/3 of the way through that thing. And like, you know, I think had been through a spell where I hadn't been active and I jumped right into that thing. And man, I was like on the verge of death. I couldn't see, like we got through that by the end of that workout. And I was like, the coach was like, "Hey man, you doing all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I just can't see you. That's all."
Wow. That's so, I've lost my hearing before with heavy deadlifts and squats, but I've never lost my vision. That would freak me out. Like you actually couldn't see?
Yeah.
Like things went dark?
Yeah, man. Well, it was just, you know, the type of deal where you're about to faint, I guess, or it was just like, I probably one more rep and I would have just gone down for a little bit.
Switch you wanted your fitness plan.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
intense.
Exactly. That's what I signed up for. So I'd probably nominate that one, I guess.
Yeah, I would give it to you as well with the loss of vision. I think you have to. Like you're not allowed to say that anything else it was harder than that. And it is. It's like different seasons of life bring different challenges, but sometimes that first meeting is the hardest one.
Yeah, totally.
And so in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
In terms of activities, I would say, and just like doing small, low-hanging fruit things that, you know, that whole build friction, like do hard stuff, like, and something I do every morning, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this. I saw this maybe in your shred or in the psychology of some of your programming, or it's like the whole cold shower thing. Like at the end of every shower, I'd throw it on ice cold for 30 seconds or a minute or whatever. And it's just kind of like embracing friction at the beginning of your day, adopting that mindset. So whether it's that or rolling out of bed and doing 50 push-ups or whatever it is, that kind of just like choosing to do something that you don't want to do, but that you know you can do and it won't like kill you, even if it's like a small, easy thing. The cumulative effect, I guess, of stacking that up, like helps and can help you, in the middle of a harder workout or in like a bigger deal thing. So, I would say something like that, just like little easy mini wins that you can sprinkle into your day.
I like it. Now, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I guess the barbell with the plates. I know you got your one-man barbell programming, which is awesome. That's probably the default answer. Although I am intrigued by that sandbag. You can do a lot of stuff with that thing. So that might be another option that I would pick.
Barbell, sandbag, or kettlebell. They're pretty, I think, in order. I'm going to go back one day and count. I mean, we've had like 100 athletes on now. I think barbell might still win. It'd be close between barbell and kettlebell. And then I think sandbag has taken a solid third place. So all good options.
Yeah, with all those. I always heard sandbag, and I was thinking just like, like the thing that you stack on the beach for a flood. Like I didn't realize they had gotten so
like sophisticated.
Progressive and
handles.
Sophisticated,
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I know exactly what you mean because in the military, like especially a lot of like basic training type scenarios, like just for fun, there'd be no flood coming. They would have you stack sandbags in one place, thousands of them, and then unstack them and then restack them.
It's team building.
Somewhere, yeah, it was awesome. So we did a lot of that, and that was my first introduction to sandbags. That was before anybody was putting handles on sandbags, and yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. When people started getting, I was like, yeah, I get it. I mean, that was like 2011, 12. I was hearing people like sandbag training was gaining some momentum, and I was like, that's what I thought too. I was like, okay, you guys do what you want. I'll be over here with a barbell. But now it makes a lot more sense to me, and it's pretty awesome to implement.
Yeah, it sounds like my nightmare.
So what do you plan on or would like to add to your future gym?
Well, I definitely want to, build a box. We talked a lot about the sandbag. I want to get that. I would like to get an Aerodyne to just kind of break up because I'm enjoying running less and less, but it's like I'm doing rowing for every substitute activity like that. So I'd like to have like another option. So that stuff, I'm trying to think. I mean, once I get that, I'll have, I actually don't have any kettlebells yet either. So I need to get those, but I've been doing dumbbells for all the kettlebell work, which is less than ideal, but it's worked so far. But once, I've got the bare essentials, and once I get all that in, I think I'll be fairly set.
Yeah. It sounds like you got it, man. Well, there are a lot of garage gym athletes out there listening to this right now. What would your best advice for them be? My best advice would probably be, okay, so I think maybe two different pieces. One would be more just like a practical thing that for whatever reason has helped me. And I know you've got like a lot of like badass probably coaches and trainers and stuff out there that don't struggle with this type of stuff. But for the handful of people that are out there who are, or maybe like me, who have to sort of adopt a mindset every day to keep the chain going, like we've been talking about, a simple hack is that it's the 2-minute rule, where you're basically, don't get daunted by the, I've got to go out and run 3 miles today, or I've got to go do X, Y, or Z. It's like literally, what's the next action that you can do in the next 2 minutes, and just make that agreement with yourself. Like, if all I'm going to do, I'm going to get on my running clothes and walk out the door. I'm not saying I'm going to actually do the run yet, but I can do that. I can do the 2 minute. In 2 minutes, I can put my clothes on, go outside. And then like, once you get out there, it's like, it's just a game with yourself. And it's like, okay, what can you do in the next 2 minutes? Again, if you don't end up running today, it's not the end of the world, but in the next 2 minutes, you can start walking, and then you kind of just build the successive actions. The next thing is start jogging. And even if you only jog for 2 minutes and then you're done. But I mean, you stack them together, and I've never done this and like just bailed in the middle of it. Like you get to one thing and it's easy to do the next thing. And so that's been like, for whatever reason, really, really helpful for me. Kind of silly, but like it's been effective. And then maybe higher altitude than that,
just for anybody who's listening that like wants to, outfit their garage or wants to start, but is starting from like, the couch and isn't like, doing everything else. I would say like there's a, kind of there's an author, I guess he's like the grandfather of all the solopreneur stuff and personal growth, but Ziglar, he's got a quote out there that says, failure is an event, it's not a person. And that's something I've thought a lot about over the last few years, because it's like, for anybody that's tried to get off the couch before or tried to go get that run in or they've had, I had garage equipment in the past that I purchased and then practically gave away. But, looking back at, those are things that, it gets kind of deep, I guess, but it's like, those are identity things that that'll just derail them when it comes to momentum. And I would say, don't let it, like those are isolated events. Those may be failed events, but they're not like the narrative on you. And you can, and you can, at any point in time, today, tomorrow, you can just take the next action. It's a different route and change the narrative that you're telling about yourself. And you can become, the type of person who has a garage gym and who works out, who picks a program and just follows the steps and sort of take it one at a time. But to not get bogged down into that, telling the wrong story about yourself. I think it's a truth really. And it's been big for me in a whole host of things, not just, fitness related, but, especially that too. And so, hopefully somebody listening needed either a practical piece or maybe something even deeper, but both of those have been big for me.
Yeah, man.
Perfect, man. I love practical. That's how I attack every situation. So I think that's awesome. And Ryan, it's been a blast having you on the podcast. Some really awesome insights. I'm sure we'll be in touch more, but I do appreciate your time and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.